I am Heidi Benjaminson, your host of Confidence Coaching, a podcast for mothers of teenagers who want to stay calm and anchored while their children are on their emotional roller coaster. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello. Welcome to episode 106. Doing things we don't want to do. Make sure that you hit subscribe to get new episodes. And now you can listen right from Facebook or LinkedIn. Thank you for the likes, ratings, reviews, and all the sharing that you are doing. I know I get my favorite podcast suggestions from friends, so I really appreciate it that you are sharing this with your friends. I want to jump right into today's topic. How do we do things that we don't want to do, or things that we don't like to do? Once I heard someone say that she didn't exercise because she didn't like how it felt and she hated that hour in the gym. And I remember thinking, I don't exercise for how I feel in that hour. I exercise for how it makes me feel the other 23 hours of the day. I couldn't stop thinking about how backwards it is to think that we should want to do hard things. Now, backwards, but yet I had to train my brain to think that way, because if I let my lower default brain operate my life, then I stay away from things I don't want to do. Now, the truth is, I do kind of like exercise, but I don't usually like getting out of bed early. I don't like pushing myself. I don't like burpees. And it doesn't matter. I exercise for what it does in my life, to my body. Exercising is who I am. I like what it brings me. So, why should we try to embrace doing hard or unlikable tasks in life? Here's why. And it's simply put, one characteristic of every successful person is they learn how to do things they don't want to do. Really. So first, we have to look at a few false perceptions we have about doing hard things. We need to expose these false ideas. The first false perception is we think that people doing these hard things, that they want to do them or they like them. Ask anyone who doesn't exercise. Staying with that example, they think that people who exercise want to exercise. That's not usually the case. Ask anybody doing med school, rotations, or internships. Do they like it? Probably not. In these cases, and more the reality, it's usually what we want or like. We think doing the hard things is going to bring us. We want what comes after or as a result of this hard thing. So we have to stop expecting that we need to want to do the hard thing. As women, we've already proven that we can do this. Nobody wanted to go through pregnancy, weight gain, sickness, childbirth, but we wanted the baby. We wanted what came after the hard. So we did all the hard stuff. Nobody wants to do laundry, but we want clean clothes. Just last night, I asked my daughter to unload the dishwasher. She said she didn't want to do it because she didn't like it. And I politely explained, we are all doing things in the house that we don't like. We're doing it because we want it done. Now, right now, my senior is applying to colleges. He doesn't want to do the applying. It's no fun writing essays, soliciting letters of recommendations, interviews, but he wants to go to college. So he'll go through this hard process. Recently, I was telling someone about a long plane trip we took about 6 years ago to go to Thailand. And our first flight was 15 hours direct from Boston to Tokyo. 15 hours. That's almost 2 work days. My friend said she could never do the flight. And trust me, I don't necessarily want to do it again. The flight wasn't what I wanted. We wanted the 2 weeks on the other side of the world. So we were willing to do the hard and uncomfortable and less than enjoyable 24-hour trip for what we got as a result of doing the hard. When we stop thinking that people doing other hard things like it or want it, we have more access to imagine what they're thinking and figure out how we can master our own minds, master our own emotions, so we can do those things. so we can be the people who do hard things. Now, the second misperception about doing hard is best illustrated in the saying, okay, I'll start my diet on Monday. We perceive in the future we'll want to do something more than we want to do it now. We think we'll be more motivated or have different emotions, obstacles, or such at some future date. We put off being disciplined in eating over the weekend, thinking some magical new mind will overcome us and it'll be easier Monday. But then Monday comes and it isn't easier. Turns out we have the same brain with us. Now, some people do thrive on the stress of doing things at the last minute. I am not one of them. So I have to consciously tell myself I will not feel any more motivated to write my podcast script in the future. I will not be more motivated to put all my tax stuff together in the future. I will not be more motivated to pay bills in the future. Whatever it is, I will feel the same as I feel now. So do I want to give my future self the gift of doing it now and getting it done? Now, busting this misperception helps us channel the long-term or future effects of doing the hard now, of unloading the dishwasher at night so it's one less thing to do in the morning, of pushing through college applications to apply by early decision so Christmas break is more relaxing, or getting up early to walk on the treadmill or do an exercise class so we feel better the rest of the day. When we can consciously ask ourselves, how does me doing this hard now make life easier later? We start creating the vision, the motivation, and discipline to do things, to accomplish goals that are in line with who we want to be in the future. Before I go through a list of other tips to help us do the hard, I want to say, I'm not a big fan of us intentionally doing hard because we're then, quote, better people. Because of that, as if the morally superior and perfectionist reward is for doing the hard, for some reward that the universe gives us for martyrdom. Now, I talk about this in episode 53, about the hard and the easy way. To figure out the difference, we just ask ourselves, why am I doing this hard thing, this thing I don't want to? And the answer helps us distinguish if we should stop and find an easier way, or if we need to do the hard thing because it's the only way to get the stuff that we want on the other side. And at times, that result is we want to build up our own internal evidence that we can do hard things. My husband just swam in the very, very cold Irish Sea this past weekend. It's further evidence to him that he can do hard things. Okay, here are 5 tips to get our mind focused and to push through the hard. First, stop your mind drama. And in the words of the Nike shoe company, just do it. Our minds like to create excuses, especially if we aren't committed to doing the hard task. We have to shut down our minds. Stop the drama production. I tell myself, I'm going to write my social media post and then I just do it. Whatever it is, I just repeat it over and over again. Okay, I'm just going to do it. Now, second tip, set yourself up to make it easy to do these hard things. I take out my exercise clothes each night so I have 0 decisions to make in the morning. There's very little thinking about going to exercise. Most of us have more determination and willpower in the morning. Like the saying says, eat the frog first thing in the morning so it's done. Structure your day to do the things that you don't want to do early. Make the phone calls that you don't want to make early. If you need to have a difficult conversation with a coworker or boss, do it early in the day and remind your brain this task usually isn't as hard as our mind thinks it will be. Okay, third tip, set a timer and just do that thing for 20 minutes. You don't like to clean or straighten your house or fold laundry? Just do it for 20 minutes, then stop. Do another 20 the next day. We can do almost anything for 20 minutes. And in reality, we will most likely astound ourselves with what we get done in that focused time. And occasionally, momentum kicks in and we might stick with it and finish the task in 30 minutes. I do this with emails I dread sitting down to deal with, or phone calls I need to make, lots of things. Then when I'm done, I reward myself with something I like watching funny YouTube videos or reading from a book that I'm really into. Now, along these lines, Instead of a time limit, tell yourself you'll do just one thing. Make one call. Submit one insurance claim. Schedule one appointment. Gather one document for the meeting at the school. Just one thing today. Those one things add up. At the end of the week, you'll have done 7 of them. Okay, 4th tip. And this has been woven into several examples earlier. Stop and consciously figure out why you are doing this hard thing. Be very aware of the future reward of you doing the uncomfortable thing now. We often overestimate how hard something will be in the short term, and we underestimate the long-term effects. Visualize how doing the hard today will be a gift to future you. Really sit and visualize. Experience how it will feel waking up and you've already made the school lunches. Visualize the energy you'll have through the day and how well you'll sleep after exercising in the morning. Visualize getting the job you really want after going on several interviews or being very vulnerable. How will you feel after you've had that hard and honest conversation and you know you said your truth and you stood your ground? Sometimes the hard thing is saying no to other people, no to our children, saying no when we don't have the time or resources, and the other person may be disappointed or mad. This can be hard. We might not want to do it. Visualize the strength and confidence to do it and the lack of resentment that you'll feel in the future. We have to consciously use our higher brain to do uncomfortable things today so we grow and have a bigger comfort zone in the future. Okay, 5th tip. I try to do this pretty regularly. Spend some time each day saying thank you to the past you who did something uncomfortable or hard that's making today a little easier. This primes your brain to know something hard today will serve us in the future. Every day I sit and say thank you to me who consistently exercised and made very hard lifestyle and health changes. Today, I was thankful that I went to bed early last night. I really needed the sleep. My son applying to colleges gets to say he's an Eagle Scout. He did a ton of hard things to get that. He persevered. He can say thank you to that past self because now he gets to use that on his applications. I often share how I didn't like the process of designing and building a house, but I did it. Each day I say thank you to past me who went through a very uncomfortable year of selling a house, packing and moving 3 times, doing a lot, and now I reap the benefits of past me. So do this regularly. I promise, even if you just say one thing each day, you remind your brain that what you do today does matter tomorrow. Switching into gratitude then brings a new energy into our life. We make dinner or clean the house or run errands or finish work projects with the energy of choosing what we're doing versus the energy of obligation or having to do things. We become the heroes of our lives. And if you feel someone is forcing you to do something hard, stop and reevaluate. Maybe the hard thing is telling someone you don't want to do it anymore. I'm leaving you with a question that I ask myself daily, and sometimes is the question that gives me the motivation to do the hard thing, the thing I don't want to do. I ask, who do I want to be? For a few years, I woke up at 5 a.m. to work out with a friend who would arrive at 5:15 at my garage. I wanted to be someone who woke up early. I didn't like it, but I knew I didn't have to like it. I wanted to be that person. Routinely, I don't want to do what's on my calendar, but I want to be someone who keeps commitments that I make to myself. I rarely want to speak in public or write speeches or talks, but I want to be someone who can handle being nervous and can speak in public. I don't like declining invitations or saying no, but I want to be someone who maintains a sane schedule. I want to be someone who is present in relationships, at events. I want to give my all to what I do, so I have to say no to some things, to say yes with full purpose to other things. Okay, of course, these are just the tip of the iceberg of the hard we do, the things we don't want to. Each season of life brings new things that we just don't like. Growth happens while we do the hard. Growth happens in that river of becoming. The hard is what changes us, as we walk through becoming a new person and visualizing ourselves on the other side. Thinking like that new future us fuels us to do the hard, to do what we don't want to. Okay, reach out and tell me your hard this week. Tell me what you don't want to do, but you're still doing. Maybe your hard is slowing down and you don't like slowing down. I'm with you on that. And no comparing our hard with another person, okay, y'all? Maybe your hard is staying calm while a teen is angry and yelling. Sometimes my heart is sticking to rules and consequences. We can do it all. That's it for this week. If you would like personalized, weekly, private, one-on-one coaching to help you stay calm and anchored to do the things you don't want to do, sign up for a consult call at HeidiBenjaminson.com. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family, not a perfect mother. Our families want us to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can help you uncover that version of yourself. Have a great week.